Do you sometimes find yourself procrastinating on things that you just don't want to do? Well, you and me both. But there is a phrase that sometimes helps us to just pop ourselves out of this procrastination rut or this procrastination cycle. And that's what today's episode is all about. Welcome to the Do More, Stress Less podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Hasselberger, a time management and productivity coach. In every episode, I give you actionable, practical tips to help you learn to use your time in a way that feels good to you every day. No more hustling, scrambling, or struggling to keep your head above water. So let's dive in, and soon enough, you'll be doing more and stressing less. Have you ever heard the phrase, the stewing is worse than the doing? Well, if not, now you have. And maybe when you hear this, you know exactly what it means. You can pinpoint a time you've experienced this. Maybe it was even this week. Maybe it was even this morning. And if you feel this quote in your bones, then maybe you can just stop listening right now because you don't need to hear anymore. Just repeat this to yourself the next time that you feel compelled to procrastinate. The stewing is worse than the doing. But if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, listen on. Now, if you're not quite sure, you think you know, but you're not quite sure what the stewing is worse than the doing means, then I want to give you a little example. So you have a thing you need to do, right? It's on your task list. It has to be done. You know it has to be done. And in fact, you even know it has to be done by you. But you really don't want to do this thing. So aspirationally, you put it on your task list for today. And then you don't do it today because, again, you don't want to. And so you move it to tomorrow. And then you don't want to do it either. And so you push it again. And so on until the day comes when you absolutely have to do this thing. Otherwise, very bad things will happen. Are taxes ringing a bell for anyone just about now? And then you finally do the thing because you have to. And usually it's not quite as bad as you thought. You were making it into a bigger thing in your head, or at least I usually am. So let's take a closer look at what's actually happening here, right? So you've thought about this thing for days, for weeks, possibly even months. You've also felt bad about yourself every day that you had to push it to the next day. You felt bad about yourself for not doing this thing for days, for weeks, maybe even for months. And in the end, you still had to do this thing, right? In fact, you may have spent more time thinking about not doing this thing than it actually took you to do the thing. And that's it. That's what this means. The stewing was, in fact, worse than the doing. But it's not all bad news because that's all in the past, right? And the only thing you can do is move forward. We cannot change the past, but we can make different decisions in the future. So, what are you going to do next time? Are you going to stew or are you going to do? And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Do More, Stress Less podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with somebody who could use a little less stress in their life. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're excited to take action or you need a little extra support, check out the free resources available on my website or schedule a free consultation call with me. You can do both of these at alexishasselberger.com. See you next time.